go? No? Okay, awesome. So welcome again. This is our Coffee with the Counselors. The topic today is college and career readiness and dual enrollment information. We'll start off with Ms. Loyacona talking about the first couple slides.
Hello. So after high school, students have usually they go between three options. They can go to college, they could join the military. Some actually go to maybe overseas for the military or the military branches here, or they go right to work for their jobs. So if your student's interested in the military, there's a website, the usa.gov, that talks about the different branches and how they can meet the recruiters that would come to our campus. College, we always tell students, why should they go to college? Well, nothing should hold them back if it's the money purpose, because college will further your education, can open opportunities, build on those skills, and enable them to go through their passion. Things that they might not have done while they were in high school, that now they can move on to in college. And again, we tell them that money should not be the issue, as there's so much financial aid going on right now out there. So college, what does it take? So colleges look at a few things. They look at your academics. That includes your GPA and your standardized test scores. They look at extracurricular. Are you involved in any clubs, activities? What classes are you taking now? And are you doing something beyond it? Like, are you in the debate team and doing after school activities with debate? And any miscellaneous, any talents they might have, part-time jobs, any volunteer opportunities, any of those would be helpful as well. Looking at this sheet, this was from last year's students who got into the different schools. This was the mid-range. So the mid-range for students, and this is weighted GPA. So for example, when looking at FAU, for example, the weighted GPA was between a 3.5 and a 4.2 for students who got in. This was to the state university system. Again, some were below, some were above. And the SAT scores and the ACT scores are there as well. So ways to students that can get involved. Summer programs, a bunch of universities offer summer programs. I know Duke offers some. FAU even offers some. That would be a great thing for students to look at those skills that they might be missing in the regular high school curriculum. Looking at any internships, anything especially they're interested in. If they're interested in business, they might want to do something there. If they're interested in being a vet, maybe work with a vet. Community service. There's tons of opportunities. We do post them on our website. So if your student's not leaving the house right now, that's okay, because there are community service opportunities that are available online for students to do from the comfort of their home. And involvement, even if it's through the club. So if your student's an environmental club, I know that they do some community service through those clubs. So not only do they get part that they're in the club, but they also get hours for being in the club.
Thank you, Ms. Loyacona. Next up, we're going to talk about some career assessments, and Ms. Wooden will be discussing these slides.
Good morning. Okay, so what will be your child's career path? So there are two very useful resources for looking at career paths. So one is Palm Beach State College Free Career Assessment. And then there's another one called My Career Shines Assessment. So once this presentation is posted, you'll be able to click right on these links to go directly to the websites. So these websites help them develop a list for colleges, and they help students just steer them in a path if they're not unsure of what they want to do for their career. So this is what PBSC career assessment looks like. So once you click on the hyperlink, this is what it will look like. So basically they'll ask certain questions, your child will answer them. And at the end, they'll compile a list of colleges and different potential careers. So these are just some further photos of what it will look like. So they'll give you some top career matches, potential careers and different things like that, information based on salary and educational requirements as far as what degree they might need. The links will be on the actual, when this is posted on the website, you'll be able to click on those links to do the assessments. I saw that question pop up in the chat. Okay, so My Career Shines assessment is just an additional tool to use for a similar purpose. So your student will first have to create an account on My Career Shines, and it will bring them to these 3 assessments to do to assess what their interest might be, what skills they might have already, and what jobs will fit them based on their personality and preference. And they're really short and they're really helpful. So this is what it'll look like after you do an assessment. So it'll give you like top career pathways and different things like that. So your student can further explore these particular careers to see if it's something that they might want to do. So it's a great tool if your student has no idea what they want to do. Or even if they do have an idea, this will definitely give them some options, because the options are endless for these students.
Thank you, Ms. Wooden. We have Dr. Keller now to talk about a couple slides with dual enrollment information.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. Dual enrollment, hot topic. So let's kind of get into what it takes to do this and why you should. Natalie? All right, awesome. Okay, so before I get into this, I guess, like, what is dual enrollment? Dual enrollment is exactly what it sounds like. You are enrolled in 2 places simultaneously. So you are taking some classes at the college, the local college, either FAU or Palm Beach State, in addition to being a high school student. Dual enrollment, you're capped at having 2 classes. That's the most that you can take at any one term. Okay, a term is either going to be the equivalent to our semester 1, semester 2, or summer. Okay, so how do you become eligible to dual enroll? All right, so right here, this is from PBSC. Their step 1 is to meet with a high school counselor. They will need to meet with a high school counselor initially to make sure they have the requirements, which you will see on here, which is 4 high school credits, which includes language arts or English, and 1 math. A weighted GPA of an unweighted GPA, forgive me, of above 3.0, and college ready test. So being that you need to have 1 language arts completed, that means that you cannot enroll as a dual enrollment student until the completion of your freshman year, because the freshman year would give you 1 full year of English credit. Although they may come into high school with math already accomplished through middle school, that the same won't hold true for language arts. And again, they're going to need to meet with their counselor every single time, because there is permission forms that must be filled out. Those permission forms serve as authorization in addition to the payment, because there is no cost associated with going dual enrolling unless they're dual enrolling at FAU and there's a minimal cost. Okay, so what are the qualifying test scores? As you see here, there are 4 different categories where a student can become eligible. Starting from the left and moving to the right, there is the PERT, which is a test that's administered through Palm Beach State, AccuPlacer, which is administered through FAU, or the ACT or SAT scores will qualify them. Okay, what you need to notice with the ACT or SAT scores is that essentially if you have a 20 or higher in all categories with English, you will qualify, or actually just in all categories in ACT, 20 or higher, you will qualify. And with the SAT, the same thing, 25 or higher, you qualify. And notice that those are going to be the sub scores and they're not going to be the overall scores. Many of you are accustomed to the PSAT or SAT being numbers much higher, 500, 600. Those are the sub scores. Okay. And that's for PBSC. FAU, same situation. And what you will see where the little magenta mark is at, again, the 4 high school credits, 1 being English and 1 being math. Also, here they have the ACT, SAT, AccuPlacer, or PERT, and these are their marks. But you will notice similar marks for the SAT, 25 or above, you're in a safe spot. ACT, 19 or above, and you're safe. Okay. These are the links for both FAU and Palm Beach State. They will be active links. So when you can access this presentation, all you'd have to do is click on those hyperlinks and it will take you right there. Again, please make sure that you are meeting with your counselor every time that you anticipate to dual enroll, because we must complete paperwork each and every time that you dual enroll. All right. That's dual enrollment.
Keller.
You're welcome.
All right, next up we have Ms. Richards to talk about our last couple slides.
Hey everybody, so setting expectations for your son or daughter. Keep in mind that the way we talk to children becomes their inner voice. Wow, right? But true. Be the encourager in his or her life. Realize that the pursuit of higher education can be a very stressful process. Your support and encouragement along the way can really be helpful, and it is really needed. No matter what your son or daughter tells you, you are needed. Strive to be that person that your kids can come to when things get stressful or they get tough. Understand that throughout the process, it's important to also be realistic. Every person is unique and has his or her individual strengths and weaknesses. And it's important to remember that your child has his or her own individual needs and wants. Part of these high school years is going to be to figure out what those are. Like I said, every student is different. Students should do the best that they can and enjoy their high school years. We encourage students to find and pursue their passions during their high school years. I mean, if you're a parent of a freshman, they have 3.5 more years to do this. So take that time to figure out what they're passionate about and what they enjoy. Two of the ways that they can do this are by joining clubs and playing sports. And also one other way is by doing community service.
Thanks so much, Ms. Richards. That is the conclusion of our college and career readiness and our dual enrollment information. We do have a couple questions that I will read over. One was, and Dr. Keller, I'm going to shoot this one to you. It says, so does it make more sense to dual enroll or to continue taking AP or ACE classes if it's during the school year?
I typically side with the AP or ACE classes, mainly because they're nationally normed exams. Nationally normed exams seem to fare better with the universities as a whole, just because there is a national criteria. Once we start talking about schools and universities that are outside of the state of Florida, they may or may not take dual enrollment credit. So with that being said, I typically side with AP or ACE classes. That's me. I like dual enrollment as a supplement, not as a substitute.
Awesome, thank you. And then I think you were answering a question about where a student can take the PERT at Palm Beach County, online or in person. And then there was, I think, Dr. Keller, maybe you were addressing AP and ACE or dual enrollment are considered equivalent for their rigor. They are weighted the same.
Correct. As far as the high school equivalency, they are rated the same as far as the HPA and the GPA is concerned. So with that, they're on the same platform. As far as the PERT exam goes, that can be taken at Palm Beach State. It can either be taken in person or online for those who don't feel comfortable enough to go on campus. The only thing is, it is a 3-part exam. If you were to show up in person, you could take all 3 in one sitting. If you were to take the administration virtually, you have to register for each segment separately.
Okay, thank you. That's really helpful. We didn't have too many questions. Oh, we might have had one more. I'm not sure this is the right place to ask for this question. Are there currently virtual options for students to obtain volunteer hours? And yes, there are. If you go to our Spanish River website, There's the community service link does have some virtual options to gain community service hours, which will be great for right now. Oh, thank you. And Miss Wooden just posted the site.
And I'll just chime in. This is Mrs. Gore, and I'm one of the assistant principals as well here at Spanish River, and I oversee community service. One that was recently posted that you can get through the website, or you can go to the Palm Beach County Library website. They are offering, I believe, some terrific programs, all virtual. So if that's something that you're more comfortable having your student do, there's quite a few things that they can do, and there's a variety in there as well. So it would be worth looking into. It doesn't necessarily have to be your branch per se. Because it's virtual, the opportunities are allowing students to go to a variety of different locations online.
And I'm also going to chime in really quick as well. There are going to be a couple of more options, virtual options coming out of the College and Career Office as well. I am in the works of putting those out there to our students as well. So there'll be some additional virtual options coming out of the College and Career Office as well.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everyone chiming in. It doesn't look like we have any other questions. If you have questions in the future, you can go to our site, and all the school counselors and their emails are posted up there. So feel free to reach out. We are here to help support you and your student. Thank you for joining us. There is a survey that I'm going to email out this morning. We'd really appreciate your feedback. It's a really quick survey. If you can click through that, we'd really appreciate it. And our next coffee with the counselors is December 11th at 8 a.m. Again, it'll be recorded if you can't make it live. But thanks so much for all joining us. Have a great day. And you can click off whenever you'd like.